Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. And today we are joined by a very special guest. You may not be able to tell by his fantasy football team, but his frontal lobe is fully formed. Sean from Charity Season of The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise Season 9 is here. Sean, how you doing? Post-Bachelor life? How's everything going?
Yeah, first off, boys, thank you for having me. Excited to talk with you guys. Things are good. Post-Bachelor life is exactly what you expect. You kind of go on the show, then you fade off into oblivion and no one really knows who you are anymore. So it's great. I'm loving it. Just back to a normal guy. Literally just like you guys going to the bar on the weekend, watching football. Life's good.
Yeah, and you have to wait 1 year until you're allowed to come on our show, and then that's the life of a Bachelor contestant.
Yeah, when I first went on the show, I remember when I got cast, I was like, all right, post-Bachelor life, dating Livy Dunn or someone like that. But I'm on the Batchmaker podcast. So like there is like we did get a win out of that. I'm not dating Livy Dunn, but I am doing the Batchmaker podcast. So
yeah, baby steps. We'll get that's like it's the first step to getting there. Yeah. We'll get you there.
Paul Skeens was once on the Batchmakers podcast, so
it's true. Paul Skeens was on here like a couple episodes ago. How's Bane going? How's Bane?
Bane's doing good. He's got a little bit of a paw issue right now. He's been licking it, so it's a little bit raw, but Bane's good. He's like, for those who don't know, I have a French bulldog named Bane. He's the cutest thing. All he wants to do is sleep and cuddle. Like, he truly has the best personality. So it makes it tough because when I'm sitting here working on my computer all day, he'll be on my bed. And then like sometimes between meetings, I'm like, oh, let me just go lay down with him for a little bit. And then next thing you know, it's 30 minutes go by. I'm like, God, geez, I got to be more productive than that. But he's so spoiled. Most spoiled dog on the planet. I make his own food. I don't know if I told you guys that.
Wait, actually?
So I literally go in my kitchen once every 2 weeks and make a big batch of ground beef, rice, some veggies, blueberries, like chicken hearts, chicken livers. He eats better than half of America, way more than half of America, I would say.
I have a bag of Culver's right here. I guarantee you Bane eats better than me.
Bane would probably not eat that. He's on the animal-based diet, really healthy.
Wow.
You know.
Good for Bane, man.
Major props. I'd love to hear that.
That's impressive.
Wow. So obviously last week, started the football season, started the fantasy season, and your team, well, to put it frank, sucked.
Yeah, you guys destroyed me. I really, really wanted to come on this podcast and talk a bunch of shit, and I was really hoping for the victory. I had a cigar cut up, ready to smoke, and like video and just talk shit to you guys. Unfortunately, my team didn't show up to play. I was sending DMs to the players like, hey guys, big matchup against the Batchmakers this weekend, need a touchdown. And I think I got -1 point from one of my players. So I didn't do really that well. But hand up, I'm accountable. Like, it's on me. It's as the coach, as the manager of this team, I need to be better. That's on me. It won't happen again. I'll see you guys in the playoffs.
I heard it here first.
Guaranteed.
I did feel bad. I was like, oh man, I want to have Sean on soon. Maybe he's gonna say no because we just broke his doors in on fantasy football. But so I won't rub it in. We're a great team. It's like you play the Chiefs. You played us tight for a little bit. First half was close, and then we pulled ahead. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna lose this year, to be honest.
You guys are very good. You guys put together a really good matchup, and it wasn't even close. So like, I tuned in about midway through Sunday. I'm like, well, I'm losing this week. It could have been worse though if it came down to like the Monday night game and I needed someone to perform, they didn't perform, or vice versa. I'd rather just get the brakes blown off me like you guys did. So it makes it a little bit easier to swallow.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into what we should do as a podcast and talk about your Bachelor experience. What was your introduction to the show? Were you following the show beforehand? How'd you apply? Like, what was your early years like following the show? Did you follow it at all, or did you just apply? What was that?
So I didn't apply. I got nominated. So I got like a random call from their casting team back in like November of 2022. But I remember watching Pilot Pete's season. That was the only season that I watched start to finish. And I was fresh out of college. I was living in New York City, and all the girls in my office watched the show. So I was like, I need something to talk about with them, just meeting for the first time. So I tuned in to Peter's season, and boy, what a treat that was. That was unbelievable, like just the crazy season. So like that was my first introduction into the Bachelor world. And then I kind of fell off a little bit until I was in the process, and then I tuned in for Zach's season. But Peter's season was my only introduction. So I thought every season was like that. Just like the craziest ending. You have,
So
Peter's
crazy.
mom like getting into it with Maddie at the ending. Like that was tough. But yeah, that was my introduction to the Bachelor world, then getting cast. And now it's like, I don't know if I'll probably watch a little bit of Grant's season, but I've been kind of tuned into the world. I did 2 seasons of the show, friends with Joey, friends with Jen. So like I had a bunch of friends that were still on the show. So I was watching support, but that was kind of like my first introduction was Peter's season and then Zach's season.
Were you at Barstool when that season was happening? Because you were at Barstool
Yes.
at some point, right?
I was, yeah. So I was at Barstool when I was junior year summer going into senior year. So I worked there for a year, was an intern. If you want to Google, there's some blogs written about me that are pretty funny. But yeah, so that was I wasn't at Barstool when that was going on, but that was prior life. I've had quite the resume, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
you've been all over the place.
Yeah, it's pretty
Barstool,
crazy.
Bachelor.
BachMakers
BachMakers
podcast.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, man, I have the trifecta going.
That's it.
So getting into your experience on charity season, so you obviously had the infamous Ken group date, right?
Yeah.
A group date that one might say was, I guess, built for you. I guess if you watched the episode, you would think it was built for you. But you won the group date, right? And you get rewarded with a walk down the pier. It seems like. What was there anything more to it? Because I remember, I think I texted right when it happened. It was like, what the fuck? Did he just walk down a pier and kiss Charity for 5 seconds and that's it? Pretty shitty reward if you ask me. But was there anything more or what?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. When I won, I was like, all right, nighttime date, here we go. What people don't realize with that date is it was so much fun. Like the best date we had all season. Like all the guys had a blast. Like, it was just something, we were all out of our element. It was very cool. But it was also very cold in terms of temperature. So I don't know if you guys recall, I had ripped my shirt off and threw it into the crowd.
Oh yeah.
But you don't get another shirt. Like once you take that off, that stays in the crowd. So I went first the entire time. So I'm like sitting there, it's 50 degrees out. I'm wearing no shirt and I'm freezing. So when I win, we're rewarded with the stroll on the pier. I am so cold. Like I'm frigid. I've got goosebumps. So like it was good that it was a short time on the pier because I was dying. But yeah, it was basically just the pier. The day was so much fun too. It was like tailor made for me, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you did mention quite a few times. You're like, oh, everyone says I look like. Do people actually say you look like Ken? Because I called bullshit.
I don't even recall saying that. I said
I'm pretty sure, and I fact check me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you said, yeah, people always say I look like Ken, and I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way.
I would never say I look like a Ken doll. Like that just didn't happen. I think you're maybe misconstrued. But no, I remember like
it was the edit. Blame the edit.
Yeah, classic.
No, it was. I definitely said that. I was like playing it up, like kind of just like stepping in and just really embracing that style of date. So I was like, all right, it's a Barbie Ken date, whatever. Like I'm Ken, like whatever. Yeah. I don't actually think I look like a Ken doll. That's one of the things that has carried over into post Bachelor life is most people remember me as like the dude that says he looks like Ken. They always come like, hey Ken, how you doing? It's like I don't think I look like a Ken doll. I was just like making a joke, and it just kind of became a life of its own where like that stuck where people remember it, and then it carried on into Paradise too. But like, yeah, it was a joke from the start. I was playing into it. A lot of the times I'm like laughing like when I'm saying it, but that part maybe doesn't get shown as much. So people actually thought I would like looked like Ken. Like I thought I looked like Ken, which is not the case.
I mean, there's worse things to be known for, honestly.
I mean, yeah, I could have like a restraining order against me from an ex or something like that. I definitely could, fake my way to the end and get engaged. It's definitely worse things to be known for right now, for sure. But I don't. Like, I went on the show without a restraining order, so we're good.
Are you sure? Nothing's gonna come out soon?
Props.
Nothing. I don't have a restraining order against me. That is a fact.
The bar is low. The bar is so low.
Honestly, when some of the boys were talking, we're like, guys, if you look back, like none of us had any bad stuff come out about us. Like we might have been the best cast of all time. Like we're all still friends. We all get along. No restraining orders. No one screwed over the lead in the end. Dotton and Charity are doing great. They're amazing together. Like we had a good cast.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the best cast. I mean, the only criticism could be like maybe it's a boring cast because nothing crazy happens. But like, I don't think you guys were a boring group at all. You had some personalities there. It's just I think you were just normal good dudes. So there's less to work with there.
Yeah, we didn't have any like even like Braden was like I guess the drama, but Braden was a good dude too. Like it wasn't crazy, like it was just like a little bit annoying sometimes, but it wasn't anything like past seasons have had where people are like fighting in the house. Compared to Jen's season, like we all got along really well. I think like halfway through we all were like, dude, we all like really get along really well. Like this is a really good group of guys, and we realized that. And then I think the show realized that as well because we're all staying in touch. We all hang out. We're going on a trip to Mexico in a couple weeks here. Like they kind of knew they couldn't. Not that they could put us against us, that we weren't going to cause the drama. Like a lot of the times, like people kind of can do the drama themselves. We were a group where like we kind of all just did our own thing and had a really good time doing it. Some of the funniest moments were just us hanging around, like talking shop, drinking a beer.
You kept the main thing. That's what you guys did as a cast. It was great. I have to ask about Dotton because obviously he's a giant. How quickly did you realize I don't stand a chance against this 6'7" Greek god? Like I had to be night one. You're like, this is gonna be tough to compete against.
Before you even saw me on the show, I realized I didn't stand a chance against Dotton. So like the way it works sometimes is like when you're going to do the first night, you're in limos together, right? So Dotton was in my limo. So I come down and get in the limo and I turn to my left and there's this 6'9", like well-spoken, gentle giant. And I'm sitting next to him in the limo and I'm like, I'm cooked. Like there's no way. And then you don't really see the relationship. That's what's cool about the show. Cool and not cool at the same time. Like you go through the entire show, the entire time, not worried about, at least from my perspective, not really worried about the lead's relationship with the other guys. And then you watch it back when you're watching yourself on TV and you're like, I wish I saw this. Like I definitely would have known that like it's not me way earlier, but it's such a unique experience. But Don's the man I knew almost immediately.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. You can't beat that.
So on the show, you mentioned some of the best times were just having a pint with the boys. What is like the drinking rule, both on the Bachelorette and then we can get to Paradise after?
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, like if you really wanted to, you could drink a lot if you wanted to. They limit it to 3 drinks an hour, the way it works. So like no one's really. It's also like you're on TV, like you're getting filmed. You're not trying to be completely, obliterated. So there were some nights where we definitely had a lot of fun, and there were some nights where like when you're drinking for a month straight, it doesn't get the same appeal after a little bit, but. Yeah, same thing across Paradise. Like Paradise is so hot, you're sweating it out anyway. Like I don't think I was a little bit intoxicated on Paradise. You're just sweating it out constantly.
Yeah. 3 drinks an hour is a lot.
That's a lot. That's. I mean,
that's what I mean. People are like, it's so funny. Like some people's reactions are like, "Oh, that's not that much." I'm like, 3 drinks an hour for like unlimited amount of time. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I never felt like I was capped. You know what I mean? Like I just did normal, trying to stay. Myself and within my like stay coherent and be good to, not make a fool out of myself. But yeah, it's you can't get out there and just be wasted, I guess.
Yeah, that would it'd make for better TV, to be honest. But kind of glad a lot of people would be put in some weird situations if that was the case. Last question about charity season: what do you regret more, the cashmere scarf?
You're wearing a scarf. Was it the big scarf?
This is cashmere.
Or the glasses when you eventually ended up getting broken up with? What haunts you more?
Oh man, I completely forgot about that breakup. That was so stupid of me. I should have just walked myself out. I didn't mean to go to a room. But I probably regret the cashmere scarf more because I don't think it went as well as the outfit as I thought it did in my head. The glasses I can sometimes pull off. Normally I don't wear them. But if I didn't do the cashmere scarf, I wouldn't have had the like "This is Cashmere" line, which people really loved.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think it all goes for a reason. I wish I just didn't walk to Charity's hotel room. Like that was so stupid. I should have just hung out with the boys and then eventually got eliminated at the rose ceremony. Like it was coming anyway.
Yeah, just let it run its course at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
And then kind of the in between time between Bachelorette and Paradise. How quick was the, hey, Sean, come to the beach? What was that process like?
Yeah, it was definitely quick. Very, very quick. So much so where I almost was like against it at first because it was like I just got back. Like, and the thing is with Paradise and The Bachelorette, like you film very close together. So I was a little bit like I just did this. I was gone for a while. Had to leave work. All these things. So it was quick. And then the more I thought about it, like I had so much fun, and hopefully it came through on the TV. I don't know if it did. I mean, I knew how much fun I had filming, and I was like, I met so many cool people. Some of those guys are some of my closest friends. The girls from Paradise that I met, and a lot of the guys, like I still keep in touch with a lot. So I had such a good experience. I was like, I'm definitely gonna go back and do it again, and hopefully I find somebody. Obviously, that shocker, that wasn't the case. But yeah, it was very quick, and I'm happy I did it though. I'm happy I did both shows.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of your Paradise time, now this is where I think we as a show kind of fell in love with you. And again, I mean this very lovingly. It was kind of a lovable loser type of situation. You just kind of kept getting shot down a lot.
Yeah.
We were rooting for you at the end. You did, however, silver lining. You won a BachMaker award. I don't know if you saw this. We had awards at the end of our Paradise season. You won the award for worst take. So the take you had was you thinking that Rachel liked you, because Rachel got really upset when she found out that you were telling people potential again. It could be Braden's fault. She thought you were telling people that she liked you, and then she got super mad and super upset about that. So you won worst take for thinking Rachel liked you. It was actually really funny that she was more mad that people would think she was into Sean than she was that Sean talked to Jess.
Kind of been saying that you like him. I mean,
she was way more upset. She was like, whoa, guys.
Yeah.
I do not like Sean. What was that situation like? Obviously, we only see certain bits and pieces of it. We'll start with Rachel. How did that one play out in your eyes?
Yeah, that was a very confusing. Trying to think back to that night, it was crazy because I was really late when we were filming. But I guess I said that Rachel liked me, which I thought would be okay because she took a rose from me the previous week. Like I don't think that's like crazy thing to say, but apparently it was. But I think it was just like emotions were high. Things were like I think maybe like the way that Braden described it may not necessarily be the way that I was shaping it. But regardless, like I see her point in terms of like her not being able to explore and me like potentially doing stuff to prevent people from talking to her. But yeah, that night was brutal. I guess that was a bad take that she liked me. Me and Rachel are friends now too. So that was just funny to watch back. Cause I remember like talking to Rachel before the episode was airing and I was like, I don't even remember like what I was saying like half the time. Like I really don't. So it was funny to see that argument. And then like, I think I went up to Aaron B and we were up at like the bar and like Rachel came, she's like yelling at me. And I'm like, where do you want me to go? Like, this is the beach. Like, I don't know where to go. And I'm like, come on, Aaron B, let's go.
Oh, I watched that scene today. It was so funny. You were like, where am I supposed to? Because Rachel's pissed. She was like, oh, you're just going to stand here? And you're like, yeah, I don't know where else to go.
Yeah, it was funny. So we all had a good laugh about that scene in particular. And I feel like, again, Paradise got people a chance to see a little bit more of my personality. Not all of it, like, getting to talk to you guys, like I'm a very sarcastic person sometimes. So sometimes that doesn't necessarily shine through in like an interview style of show, like the Bachelorette or Bachelor in Paradise. But I kept taking L's. Like, I think I had like clips after clips of like just funny stuff happened to me, whether that's like, and stuff you didn't see. I got hurt one of the days on Paradise. And this sums up my Paradise experience, right? So we're sitting down by the beach. On the beach, there's this like old umbrella holder that's cement. So like something you would place an umbrella in, but there's no umbrella, and it was just like a round circle that was a rock. And it was right in the middle where we're shooting. So I see it and I'm like, guys, don't like, be careful. There's a rock here. Like, don't hit your foot on the rock or anything like that. So 35 minutes go by. I think John B comes down the stairs. I'm all excited to see him. So I jump up and run to go see him. As I jump up, I freaking cut my foot on that rock and slice it open. And I have to go see the doctor on site. And like, just me telling people, don't cut your foot on this rock. And then I do it. Like, that sums up my Paradise experience.
Wait, did you see the poop doctor? Was it the same doc?
So same guy.
What's
He's
he like?
Man,
He's the
multifaceted.
best.
He's the best. He's
do it all.
one of the most interesting men I've ever met in my entire life. Like, getting a chance, because he was our doctor on charity season as well, and getting a chance to speak with him like on flights and just like off camera, just like normal interactions. The guy is the most well-rounded individual you've ever met in your entire life. He's funny. He owns a million different styles of businesses, not just in the medical field, but other things as well. Like, he's a really good dude. So I saw him and he's like, dude, what the hell? How'd you even do this? Like, I literally like just destroyed my foot, which on Paradise, you don't want to have open wounds on the beach regardless. So yeah, it was, that was a tough day and night, I think. So
What was the poop baby experience like for you? What was your what was your perspective on that?
tough. At least like, like if you get known for things in the Bachelor Nation, right? Like, people are known for stuff. Like, that's a tough thing to be known for, but Sam handled it so well. Like, she was making a joke out of it. Like, I didn't know if like they were being truthful at first when we heard about it initially. I was like, is this real? Like, what are you talking about? And then eventually became known that like, oh, she's actually leaving. Like, this is serious.
Crazy.
So it was as confusing to us on the beach as it was probably some of the viewers watching it.
It was so wild watching that back or just like experiencing it, because we always thought as they were teasing it and everything, we're like, this is going to be a big old nothing burger. Nothing's going to come of it. And then she actually had to leave the show. And we're like, holy shit, this is real. That's crazy.
But good for her. She got on Jimmy Kimmel because of it. She wrote a book, like way to capitalize. And Sam's like an absolute sweetheart, like the nicest girl in the world. So it sucks that was her ending of Paradise, but she's made the most of it for sure.
Yeah. Wow. So earlier you also did get friend-zoned by Jess in Paradise. Is there anything you would do different? I don't know. We know you hit her with the Taylor Swift line.
Had to.
Would you?
Shocked that didn't work. I can't believe that didn't work, honestly. Yeah, I probably would have done a bunch of things different. I probably would have just like did the entire thing different if I was gonna go back into Paradise. Like, I had like back in that mindset, I was remember thinking it's like, oh, Jess lives in Florida. I live in Florida. We both like Taylor Swift. We're gonna get married, obviously. So I had it working out in my head, and then getting down to the beach, hanging out with Rachel. It just didn't really work out. I just couldn't get that out of my head. I wish I did that differently. But I don't know if you saw, like, Jesse Palmer did a little throwback to my experience on the beach when he was announcing games this weekend. They panned to the crowd, and there's this guy in the stands, and he's like, I can tell you right now, that guy's in a friend zone. He's not dating any one of them. And I was like, he just took that clip from Paradise with me. Like, this guy wasn't dating anyone either.
That was a tough watch. I did feel for you. I also can relate. I too have been friend zoned by Jess very recently. So Jeremy was from this season was at the finale, and during the live portion, he was sitting in front of Jess. So I texted him. I said, "Hey, tell Jess Wyatt says hi." And then Jess responded. Oh, he sent me this.
Who's
he said, Jess said, "Who's that?" So that one hurt. That one hurt a little bit. So we're in the same boat. I feel your pain.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
But again, like,
friend zone if she doesn't know you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we're not even friends. It's even worse.
It's just the zone.
Again, like, those clips, like, I think are so funny. Like, it sucked it happened to me, but like as a viewer watching that back, like, that was hilarious. Like,
So
this girl was like, I love you as a friend. Like, probably the worst thing you could ever say to like a guy.
I truly care about you, and I I love you, and I think you're literally awesome. Not like, you know what I mean? Like, as a friend. Like, I don't. And that made me want to die.
And like, I get that on national television. Like, I still get, crap from my friends about that. But it's like so funny to go back and watch. And like, I even clipped it on my Instagram. I'll go back and watch that every now and again. Like, dude, I cannot believe that happened. Like, I didn't draw it up like that at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's one of the more blatant examples of friend zoning ever. Like on because it's real and it happened and it's just straight out there. Like, I love you as a friend. It's like, holy shit, she just said that. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was textbook. And I would like watch Paradise, like gearing up for it. And I was like seeing like Joe and Serena and Noah and Abigail and like all these like couples that come from it. I'm like, that's going to be me. But no, I just had a very friendly experience on the beach.
Do you think so this was before Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were officially together or like public. Do you think if you had known that, you could have used that to help you in any way? Because I feel like that could be a connect. Like you mentioned sports, Travis Kelce, Taylor, that could be another way in.
Maybe we just run it back on this next Paradise. We'll see. I'll just add that to the repertoire and we'll see. I don't think anything would help me. I think I was doomed from the start, truthfully.
All right, man. We were rooting for you. I really was. I was like, someone's going to end up with Jess, my biggest crush in Bachelor Nation. I was like, you know what? It should be Sean. It wasn't, but it should have been.
I thought it was going to be me. It just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And then like, you don't get to see everyone on Paradise, right? So I left and then like, Davia comes down, who I'm super close with now. It's like, I wish that I had stayed throughout the entire time just to like have more of that experience. But yeah, I shot myself in the foot from the beginning, I would say.
So I had a question on the rose ceremonies for Paradise because they were filmed at night, but it still seemed like it was a million degrees. Like everybody was like sweating gallons. What was the temperature that time of year? Was it July or June? Right?
June in Mexico. It's all of 95 degrees. Like it's really hot. You guys are Midwest boys, right? So I live in Tampa. It's brutal here in the summer. Like you got to be indoors, you got to be by the pool. It's like that on the beach and we don't really have air conditioning. So those rose ceremony nights is so hot. You're just sweating constantly. Like that was just your experience the entire time where no matter what you do, it's just hot. You just got to be used to being in the sun, being hot, being covered in sand, sweat. Sounds like a very romantic environment, right?
Yeah. I remember Aaron B. For some reason, the sweat was so visible on his head. He was just dripping every rose ceremony.
Yeah. And they're late at night too. You've been drinking all day or out in the sun all day. Yeah. You're dying the entire time, truthfully.
How is Aaron B? Are you close with him still? Because we're trying to get him on soon, but he was one of our favorites that season. We were 50-50 on him during charity season, but Paradise, he just had some classic moments. The Fig Jam quote is an all-time moment. We grew to love him in Paradise. What was he like? How close are you guys?
Yeah, still very close with AB. He had a rough go, I would say, like after Paradise. So I won't speak on that. You guys can ask him all about that. That's kind of his story to tell. But he's great. And like the thing is, what's so funny, and like I find it hilarious going through it, is like everyone has these views of people what they see on the show, right? But like from my perspective, everyone for the most part I've met through Bachelor Nation is just like awesome, like just a really good person. So then hearing people's like, oh, I didn't like this person on the show. I didn't like this person on the show, or I love this person on the show. It's like, we're all very similar in our own way. It's just really it's just funny what people like kind of connect to. But I agree. Like AB on Paradise was great. Like he has those kind of analogies. I'll give you one funny moment. It was just like off camera type stuff. So during these shows, you're trying to kill time a lot of the time. So we were playing this game. And it was like categories, right? So like someone names a category, then you go around the circle and you have to keep it going as long as possible. And if you get it wrong or you miss the category, you have to take a drink or whatever the case may be. So we ended up doing a category where it was like types of wood. So I'm like, oak, like oak, pine, maple, whatever the case may be. Aaron B goes, hardwood. That was like one of my funniest moments that I remember from AB, just like hardwood.
God, man, he's a one of one character for like just his personality feels so unique in a cool way. I don't know if that makes sense. He's just like I've never seen someone like Garrett B. His personality is just it almost feels like he's a I don't even know. Just I remember the moment where he was first on the beach, and we'll definitely ask him about it when we get on the show. And it was him, and then I forget what who the three girls were, but it was just him and the three girls, and he did not know how to react. Like he was just a little like awkward and just confused and like didn't know how to react. He's like, oh, it's these three beautiful women. This is my dream, and he's just like he was freaking out a little bit. You could tell the gears in his head were turning.
Totally. I think it was Rachel, Brooklyn, and Kat because I came
Yeah.
down after. Like AB was down there, and I came down as the second guy. I remember that, and I was like, "This is awesome. We're all having a good time." But he's such a good dude, and like all the guys from the show are amazing. AB is so funny. Like when you get all of us in a group, like we really do have the best time. Like just constantly laughing. We're a big like group of like we like bust each other's balls all the time. It's just like a group of guys that we have fun with each other.
How much space is between people coming down on Paradise? So you like when it first starts, you have one person down, the other person. What's that time? Are you just like waiting at the top of the stairs, just like waiting to get a tap on the shoulder and say go?
It's different like for everyone. Like when it's weird, like because you're the entire day when you're going down to the beach, you're like, I don't know who's there, I don't know which time I'm coming in. So like I thought I was a little bit later, I ended up being the second guy. So like you're waiting around for that to go down. But once you're on the beach, you're kind of doing your own thing. Like you're doing interviews, you're having drinks, talking to people. So it doesn't feel like it's that long between people coming down, but it's like the full day of people coming down on the beach. So it's not too much time. You're never getting bored in those situations. Like the rest of the time is when you're just like sitting on the beach the entire time. They're just hanging out.
No.
Like that's when it gets a little bit boring.
So the frontal lobe conversation with Sam, watching it as a viewer, I think it was kind of awkward for the viewer. I'm sure it was awkward for you. Kind of walk us through that conversation and kind of your reaction when she kind of first said it.
I don't know if your like frontal cortex is like fused together yet.
Yeah, I heard it is.
Yeah, I thought it was just healthy banter. We were going back and forth. A lot more of her than me. I think I got her age wrong. Like that was just that point in Paradise where I was just emptying the clip. Whatever I had left, I was trying to give. I wanted to stay, but that was a funny scene. Like one of the like my frontal. Like who thinks of that? I don't think your frontal lobe is fully fused. Like hilarious. Like it was just a funny moment to cap off my like Paradise journey. I would say because that was like the last night I was there.
Yeah, it was so your reaction to it too was great because you could tell you had reached the point in Paradise where like nothing was going right for you. You're like, this is my last chance, and this isn't even going well. She was like, "Oh, your frontal lobe isn't fully developed," and you were like, "Pretty sure it is." All right, let's keep this going.
Yeah, and like we were like, oh man, I was trying so hard too, and like truthfully, if I got a rose that night, I would have bailed on her the next day anyway. But like I'll be honest with you, it wasn't seeing that long term. I hate the cold and don't feel like going to Canada, but yeah, it was just funny. And like again, like I can laugh at myself. I have a good time with it. Like it's not like I'm one of those people that like I can truly laugh at myself. And some of the stuff I do is funny, and I'm glad people got a chance to like not make fun of me, but like laugh at me with me, I guess a little bit because I was laughing too. So it feels a little bit less bad when like you're laughing yourself instead of just people laughing at you, I would say.
Good. I think that's a weird line we try to toe with this show. Like, yes, we're laughing at the show and the absurdity of it, and we hope everyone else is kind of laughing with us in a weird way.
Totally. And like the people that really get it, like on the show, like people you talk to, like you can tell some people that take things a little bit too seriously afterwards. And it's like, oh, I got a bad edit. I did this, like whatever. Like honestly, at the end of the day, it's have fun with it. Whatever it is, like lean into it, like make fun of yourself. The worst thing you can do, the absolute worst thing you do is like try to fight it. Like you're not changing anyone's opinion, right? Like they're seeing what they're seeing on the show. So just lean into it. Be like, yeah, I was pretty crazy that time. Yeah, I did something stupid. Like just lean into it, have fun with it. And then most people like, they're not going to get on you and send you a bunch of hateful DMs for the most part. So that's what I try to do. I try to have fun with it. And, I can laugh at myself, have a good time.
Yeah, maybe don't post a 15-minute Instagram video the
Or-
explaining your actions and post all the text messages you had with the person. Maybe don't do that. It's probably not a good idea.
A word of advice:
Or get all of your family to blame the edit.
Also, two of those things. So if I could give any advice to people that are looking to go on the show, number one, after the show, no 13-minute videos exposing very integral details of your relationship that probably should stay private. Number two, definitely don't have family members like try to defend you at all. Those are bad things to do. Don't do them. Just like laugh, have a good time. It's a show. It's meant for entertainment, you know? Not everyone is going to be a Joey that's completely beloved by Bachelor Nation, right? Like if we had that, you wouldn't be watching the show anymore because it just gets so boring. Like you got to have some people to fill certain roles and just laugh with it, run with it. Don't try to fight it. That's my biggest advice, because you've seen people try to do it and then like it almost makes them look worse.
Oh yeah. Now we've had a few sisters, parents in our comments, DMs. We've dealt with that on the BachMaker end of things. So we definitely wouldn't encourage it, but it's always funny when we get those messages. We're like, oh, this is real. They're in the thick of it. I want to talk post show. How bad was your first round of golf when you got back? How much did it affect your golf game?
Not terrible. Not terrible. I thought it was going to affect it more. What's so funny too, and like when I'm packing up for the show, my dad's like, you should bring your clubs. They'll probably let you golf, when you have downtime. I'm like, there's no freaking way. Could you imagine if I show up to the airport with my golf clubs and then I have to lug those fuckers around the entire time we're traveling around and not play once? But it didn't affect it too much. Like I'm fortunately, like I'm a pretty good golfer, whereas a couple rounds I was back to normal. So that was one of the things I could not wait to do. I was so jealous of the guys from Gen season that got to play with Jesse. Like I was dying to do that the entire time we were in paradise. I just wanted to go play golf, but didn't affect it too much, fortunately.
Do you think you'll get the chance to play with Jesse at some point?
Hopefully. You never know. I mean, he's a busy man. Jesse Palmer is a busy guy. I still keep in touch with him from time to time on Instagram DMs, but I have played with Wells. Wells is a very good golfer. Okay. We've had a really fun round of golf, Wells and I, and he's a great golfer. So not Jesse Palmer, but the bartender on Paradise Wells. So we had a really good time.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Jesse's like our favorite person of all time. We love Jesse. He can do no wrong. He lives the greatest life of all time. He gets to watch football and talk about it and then travel to cool places and host a show. Like that is the greatest life of all time.
He's got it made, and he's also just such a great person as well. Like he's so fun to be around because he hangs out with us like when we're filming, like not all the time obviously when we're on camera, but when we're traveling around, like we'll be in the gym together and stuff like that. And he's exactly how you think he is in person. He is like he's a great dude, funny, outgoing. Like dude was an NFL quarterback, right? Like he has that personality, can make some jokes, he gets it. He's awesome. Love Jesse.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then any kind of final thoughts on Jen's season finale? I know you kind of touched on the after stuff with certain people, but were you watching it, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on the finale. Oh my God, what a bloodbath that was. So I watched all of Jen's season. I became friends with Jen through the show. Like the Bachelor Nation is very small, and just wanted to support her and see what was going on and make sure everything was good. Got a chance to see her after her season had filmed when we were in Nashville together. And I kind of got the inkling. I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. And like she didn't elaborate on it. I kind of got some inside detail, but I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know the extent of it until watching the finale. And I was like, oh my God, like you could not have played that worse. Like truly could not have played that worse. It was tough to watch. Like I was hosting a little like watch party at a place in Tampa with my dog Bane. And we're sitting there and I'm watching. And I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this is happening. So feel bad for Jen, truly. Like I don't think her person was on the cast. I think that, as you guys know, there's some great people on that cast, but there's also some, sore spots as well, as we've come to find out. So I feel bad for her. I feel like she got a little bit shortchanged with her season, but she's on Dancing with the Stars. She's doing great. She will be completely fine. Probably be dating a basketball player in the next like 4 months. So she'll be bouncing back on her feet for sure.
Yeah, have you seen the Max Strus rumors? She said that her celebrity crush was Max Strus, and then Max Strus followed her. So maybe we'll see.
If that's the case, my celebrity crush is Livy Dunn. So sorry, Paul. We'll see. Maybe we'll get in touch there. But no, I fully support the Boston connection. I'm a huge all Boston team. So Patriots, Sox, Celtics, Bruins. So if Jen gets with Max, like I approve that relationship for sure. Just get me some tickets on the side, something.
Fair enough. All right, we'll wrap up here. Sean, what's next for you? Is there a potential return of Paradise? Is that ever going to be back on the table, or what are you looking forward to the next year?
Yeah, I don't know what's next. I've come to realize that a lot of things in your life can change on the drop of a hat. Is Paradise in my future? I don't know. We'll see. I'm definitely open to the idea of going back. I think it would be fun to do it again. And, you know, I do have a blast filming these things. So I would be open to it if they come calling, not expecting to be there. But if it happens, that'd be great. What's next? I'm just a normal guy. I like living my life right now. I got my dog, got my house, play a lot of golf, have fun, still single. Nothing's worked out post show, unfortunately, but you know, we'll see what happens. But it's been great talking to you. Big special shout out to Davia, who was always my number one supporter. I saw you guys in the podcast with her. So
hell yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, yeah, Davia, friend of the program as well. So maybe if we meet in the fantasy football playoffs, we will have you back on and we can hash that out and see how that goes.
I did tell you I cut up a cigar. That cigar is still cut up. I'm waiting to be able to smoke that when I smoke you guys in the playoffs. So hopefully
we're going to save our cigars for when you get eliminated from the playoffs and we clinch our number 1 seed.
We'll see. We're going to have to see. Yeah, here's the thing. Things can change quickly. You guys might catch an injury drought here in a bit. You know, you might have all your players get injured. So we'll see what ends up happening. But regardless, it's been fun. Really appreciate you guys having me, not on only on the pod, but the Fantasy Football League as well. It's been cool to connect with a lot of other people from, Jen's season and then some of my friends as well. So you guys are the best. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Always love your TikTok content. Keeps me very entertained throughout the day. And I get all my news from you guys right now, pretty much. So
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Sean.
you.